Hello, hello. Hope everybody is doing well. I'm gonna give everybody an opportunity to hop on. Instagram sends the notifications and then they go. And yes, start sending your questions on here. I have a bunch of questions that were sent to me over the last few weeks. I've been busy doing one-on-ones and boot camps all over. And I just finished another one in Amsterdam. We did a one-on-one this weekend in Amsterdam. A student went from opening not too many sets and not really going out or having ever focused on his game. And after a month of hearing about me, he signed up for a boot camp and came to solve his problems. So we finished the boot camp, we wrapped it up. And he went and started doing 15 sets on a Friday and 16 sets on a Saturday. So hopefully he's gonna carry the momentum from this weekend into the following weekend. And likewise for you, you should be doing the same. It is not about getting out when you feel like it's convenient or when you feel it's comfortable, when you feel like it's prepared. You should be preparing throughout the week to be going out every weekend, at least 2 nights a week if you really wanna get good at these skills. So we wrapped it up and he enjoyed his time. So be on the lookout for his review being posted on here so that you guys can see what he went through and where he was at before the game. Let's see some questions on here. Let's get right to it. The first question already is troublesome. How to pick a specific girl? She's in my residential campus. Well, it sounds like you've already picked her. I don't get the question. So maybe rephrase the question and we can answer it better. But it sounds to me like you solved your own problem there. We were friends, now we don't talk. Please answer me. Well, if you guys were friends and she only saw you as a friend, best that you vanish and disappear so that you can kill off your old self and reinvent yourself and become someone new. Because if she wasn't attracted to you on a romantic level when you first were introduced to her, chances are, if nothing has changed, she is not going to all of a sudden find you attractive once you run into her again. You're better off going off, developing some social skills so that when you do run into her again, you have the social skills to now match hers. Because most likely, if she didn't find you attractive, it's because your social skills did not match hers. And then that's the best way to do it. And then from there, you can show her that you have a cool new life. You've been doing different things than you were doing before when she met you and when she knew you. And then you can show her that you are completely different now. Let's take a question from here. On your hand says, I feel too much social pressure when I play my game. How can I get rid of that? Social pressure comes from a lack of repetition. If you do something over and over again, you're no doubt going to get more comfortable doing it. If you can let go of the results mindset and get into a process mindset, then you can motivate yourself and see the benefit in getting better at the skill instead of trying to get something out of the night or out of the set. And as long as you keep doing the repetition with perfect practice, then you're bound to start getting more comfortable. And that anxiety is never going to really go away, and that pressure will never go away. But at the end of it, you're going to learn how to deal with it better. The best guys in the world still feel anxiety and still feel some pressure whenever they have to take action on a set. We just walk forward and know what to do because we've done it so many times. And the second that you start to not feel that pressure, the second that you start to not feel that anxiety when you do approach, you have to ask yourself, are the sets worthy? Are the sets up to the caliber that I said I wanted when I first started my social skills development? And if they're not, then of course you're going to be numb to it. If you're gaming sets that are easy, then of course you're going to start to feel numb if you do it repetitively. But if you're gaming the top quality sets, the sets that are out of your league almost, then of course you should feel at least something. If not, then you got to see a shrink and see how to develop yourself emotionally. Because remember, one of the most attractive qualities universally, evolutionary attraction switch, is the willingness to emote. And that's having a rich range of emotions and healthy emotions. So make sure that you get that settled. Gringo in Miami says, nice page. Thank you. I appreciate it. A lot of time and effort goes into it so that I'm not just trying to sell you guys or trying to give you guys a bunch of fluff that you can't use. If anything, I believe that I do the most practical advice so that you can take action right away. So appreciate you noticing. Let's see here. Will you ever come to Prague, Czech Republic? Spencer is asking. Not this year. I don't have it planned on the calendar. Perhaps I should consider it for next year. So DM me and let me know that you're interested in a boot camp, and then I can start to think about it for next year. Let's see here. Lightning Gadita asks, when I go for a gaming session, it takes me at least an hour to do my first approach. Any suggestions? Well, first of all, that's way too long. Why are you waiting an hour to start when you could have been an hour in and building the momentum? If you can't get yourself to open a set right away, the best thing you can do is to decide before you get to the venue that you will open the set to the left. The first set to the left, or I'm not going to hold it against you if you do the first set to the right, if there isn't one to the left. But the first set that you see should be the set that you're in. Whenever you see me move within a venue, it starts when I first leave the house. I start already building momentum with the driver that is taking me to the venue. I build momentum by opening any sets that are within the walking distance of the car to the venue. Once I get to the front of the line, I immediately go to the front and start chatting up the hostess and the bouncers and security. And I make sure that I get in quick and that I'm smiling throughout the whole way. And when I get in, I make sure that I open the first set that I see so that people see that there's a social guy in the venue. My current emotional state is that I'm talkative. Everybody wants to talk about what state should I be in? You know, I should be confident. I should be this. No, the state that you should be in is talkative. If you're not talkative, how will you open your first set? Now, if you haven't said anything to anyone throughout the whole day, perhaps you need to call some relatives or some friends or your wings and run your material on them so that you start to desensitize to getting it out when it's needed. You have to go from zero to hero. That's what the greats do. They go from zero to hero. Why? Because even though we're going out and we know we're going out on a Friday, the next dream set should or could be in the daytime. Most chances, the guys that I work with, most likely, and statistically speaking, they're going to meet a girl outside the nightclub. So instead of being in a headspace where you have to turn it on a Friday after you've done this, that, and the other, make sure you learn how to go from zero to hero. So that way, if she happens to be in front or behind you at any point in the day, maybe at a line at a pharmacy or at a grocery store or at a coffee shop, you can go zero to hero and meet the objective and be able to convey your best personality to give yourself the best chance of aligning with her and building real attraction. Let's see some questions on here. How many sets do you think is minimum to do a night? I've answered this before, so really quickly. 8 sets makes it worth putting on the clothes. If you come to a boot camp, we're doing 15 sets at minimum because it's worth the time. You just came to a fucking boot camp. But if you're at home, 8 sets makes it worth putting on the clothes. Some guys are in small towns. They go to their venue and there's not that many sets. Well, open the sets in there, open the staff, open everyone you can and go home. Do as many as you can, but 8 makes it worth putting on the clothes. If you're doing 2-3 sets a night, you're not going anywhere with this. That's not enough repetition for you to see anything. You need to see patterns and trends and be automated and be used to running material. And if you're doing 2 sets going home, 1 set, oh, I bombed, let me go home and fucking pity pat myself. Well, then you're never going to get these skills. Simple as that. The guy that goes to the gym, shoots 1 basketball, misses and goes home, doesn't get good. Same here. So how many sets? 8 minimum. That's worth putting on the clothes. 12 is a good night. 12 makes it worth putting, you going out. That's like, if you want social skills and you're not doing 12 sets a night, you can't see anything. By 8 sets, you start to automate. That's what the kicker is that you'll automate the material. You'll start to not feel the pressure of what do I say next, because you'll have said it 8 times already. The first 3 sets are warm-up sets. You're most likely gonna tank. So getting up to 8 sets is ideal. 12 sets allows you to relax a bit. 15 sets, 16 sets is where I like my students to play, because at 16 sets, you start to remove yourself from the set. You start to see things that you can't see because you're so in the set, right? If I am automated to a point where now I can see things happening around me, I'm better prepared for it. I see the friend coming in. So I like to tell my students to go 15, 16 sets. As you get better, your sets will last longer, therefore you'll do less sets. But if you're just going out and you're getting blown out within the first, minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, then you should be doing 15, 16 sets a night for sure. What is the difference between ASKA and the old school method? DJ Cave asks. Well, ASKA is just a zoomed in version of the M3 method, right? So before, M3 used to be that you approached, you opened, you demonstrated value, and then you qualified. Well, what guys realize very quickly is that the girl doesn't care about your long DHV story unless she knows it's gonna be somewhat entertaining. And you need something on the front end to show that you're entertaining and that you're fun. And it can't just be as quick as an opener, because as a high value guy, you wouldn't just open a set spontaneously, remember, because it shouldn't be that you're walking up to talk to the girls. It should be that you're just walking by and now you're over the shoulder talking to the girls. So by you doing that, it shows that you're different. But then after you've established that, you can raise the bind temperature or raise the fun by doing a routine that accomplishes that. So then when you do lock in, you have a justification for why you're sitting down to tell a longer story where you can demonstrate your value, as opposed to before, you wouldn't have sat down and started this long story to a couple of girls that just listened to your opener, because you should be talking during the opener, not them. So for you to talk, and then that's enough for me to sit down and talk to these stranger girls, no matter how hot they are, right? Because if I live in a mindset of abundance, then they're just the next set. They're no big deal. I have girls over there, remember. So it justifies not why I'm sitting down after I stimulate. So ASKA is open, stimulate, captivate, and then ask a question or qualify. So it's basically the stimulate and captivate is A2. That's the phase. It's just broken down into 2 portions. That's very well explained, if I do say so myself. Okay, let's see here. AJ asks, do you approach in the gym? Fuck no, because I don't go to the gym. I don't do it. It doesn't feel right for me to be in a gym. It's not my kind of thing. If I was gonna work out, I'd be doing it in different ways. Not necessarily a gym where I'm pumping iron and looking in the mirror. It's not my vibe. However, I do have students that do go to the gym. So yeah, I've worked with them on preparing them for all the dynamics that the gym presents. And all you have to do to prepare for them is start to look at the gym and see and make observations and have opinions of things. And then when you go home, you can create a stack that allows you to open and not be the creepy guy that's hitting on the girls. And you shouldn't be that guy anyways. So everything should be indirect and it should be just observations. You should be doing something and then just make an observation. And if you get a laugh because she can listen, then you can start there. But don't be the guy going up to girls at the gym. Ugh, that's such a cringe type of dude. No girl wants to be the girl that got picked up by the guy at the gym, you know? Let's see here. Deshaun asks, how do you show you're a non-judgmental person? Well, it's restricting the negative opinions that you have on things that she can't change. If you can establish that and convey that early on in the interaction, then you're gonna get her to open up a lot more. So what a lot of guys do is they'll ask her a question, and then when she answers it, they won't reward her correctly. And then she doesn't get encouraged to want to answer more or to go deeper. Or even worse, the guy doesn't encourage her to get deeper into the questions. He'll just ask a question and then move on to another question like an interview. So yeah, you show her that you're non-judgmental by providing the correct reward systems when she does open up, so that she feels encouraged to keep doing so. Let's see here. Forbes asks, how much did you sacrifice to get to where you are now? Well, I got into this very early on. I got into this at 14. So it wasn't so much as a sacrifice as it was a trade-off. I traded off having a traditional life, something that was safe, something that I could have done. I have family that has things that I could have gotten into and looked after and made a living and made a good amount of income doing so. But that just wasn't for me. I decided very early that I needed to accomplish a lot more and therefore not settle for what I already had. So I got uncomfortable, and I quickly learned to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And with that, I was able to grow, and I've gotten into different areas of different things of interest, all that contribute to who I am today. So the sacrifices were, being looked at by my family and friends as a guy that doesn't have his life together because he goes out more than he stays in. If you're looking to be the next Colgate, if you're looking to be the next Mystery, you need to go out more than you stay in. It's just that most guys don't need that. Most guys just want to find an awesome 9 that they can hang out with that values them. So they're going to work the skills 2-3 times a week. But if you're trying to get good at this for you to coach, if you're not going out more than you're staying in, I don't get how that qualifies you to be a coach personally. So yeah, I would say that all the opinions and all the point of views that everybody had, growing up, right, being 17, then 18, 21, and going out as much as I did, people just didn't have the, he's very serious about his life kind of thing. Even though I was, right? I was teaching guys all over the world. I was traveling. I was doing the thing. To the closest people, it was just like, he just goes out for a living. He's always at nightclubs. Most people didn't even understand at the time what a dating coach was, what a pickup artist was, right? So yeah, it was just that, trading off negative opinions for a skill set that would last a lifetime, that now everybody seems to benefit from, right? All those people now benefit from it because I've brought awesome perspective, awesome experiences, awesome things into their lives because I was able to go and get it myself. So yeah, those kind of things. You also asked, do you have any internships? Not right now, not at the moment. I have a focus, couple of guys that are into what I'm doing. I've brought them in and they're helping me maneuver things along. And as you can see, things are starting to get bigger. But as far as internships, no, I don't. I opened up an internship a few months ago, and not a lot of people can really stay consistent, it seems. So I've learned to work with people that I can bring in and help them get their skills up to speed, but also give them a benefit to share the pot of what all of this can bring. And yeah, I have a tight group for that. So not right now, but maybe in the future as things start to pick up and it's needed, and maybe I can see a position where somebody can do some light work to prove their way. Yeah, I might consider it. So keep on the lookout for that. Let's see here. Raj says, I promoted an event where the girl hosting knew you. I told her we were bros. It's fucking ridiculous. Okay, whatever works. The novice says, haha, I just woke up. Okay, let's move that along. Limitless North says, hi Colgate, your page is awesome. Thank you, appreciate it. Bueno Steph says, out of all the MPUA, you get the hottest women by far. Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. As Mystery would say, my mother is so proud. Let's see here. The Grinch that stole hip-hop says, if two girls are play fighting over me, how can I escalate the situation without looking thirsty? The structure to your game is off. That doesn't make sense. If two girls are play fighting over you and you're escalating the situation, how would you come across thirsty, right? To come across thirsty is to convey interest when there's no interest being conveyed back. If the girls are conveying interest back and you're conveying interest, then you should move it along with the compliance test. So you need some better understanding of your structure. This is completely off. Let's take one from here. Let's see. Hello, everyone. I won't shout you out individually because I'm pressed for time. I have a flight to catch. Let's see. Is it better to open direct rather than indirect? Depends where you're at. If you have your outside package figured out, you got the avatar together, you have the delivery together, you have all the components together, then yeah, perhaps when you have some girls with you, you're pre-selected, you've been socially proofed, or you have the skills to just go up and go direct, yeah, absolutely. But if you keep going direct and the girls just aren't seeing you after they maybe give you the number to make you go away, or they just don't give you the number, or it just isn't working out, then go indirect, because indirect allows you to buy more time so that you can convey personality and win conversationally. Let's see here. How long are you gaming and what were the important sticking points you overcame? I've overcame every fucking sticking point. Are you kidding me? I've been doing this for 17 years. I've done it all. I've opened more sets than everybody, right? Mystery and I have done this at the level where we can say that we've done repetition. So I've done every sticking point in a social dynamic I've had to deal with and I've had to be prepared for. And then that is what it makes me qualified to teach the next guy how to do it so that he doesn't have to go through all the rejections that I went through to learn those skills. So yeah, absolutely. I've overcame all of them. How do you bounce to a new location in day game? It seems like a number closes, end in a flake. Well, if you have the time to bounce to a location in the day, then you aren't a guy that was busy doing anything. You're a guy that was there day gaming, and that's loser status. So of course it flakes. You wanna establish solid games so that you're able to walk away and carry on what you're doing and see her at another time. Right? And do a couple of phone calls and a couple of FaceTimes before you see her. Because if she's not willing to go on a 5-minute date on a FaceTime with you, then of course she's not going to see you when you try to see her Friday night in person. Right? So yeah, you need a better understanding of how to date game, for sure. And unfortunately, we don't have the time to get into it. Can you talk something about the phone game? Well, no, because I teach a breakout on it. So I have a very solid understanding of how to do phone game, text game, all of that. So yeah, I teach that as a breakout. So no, not getting into it on here. But if you're interested, you know where to reach me. Let's see here. If I have the set that is on form, the first 1, 2, 3 sets, would you recommend leaving to get in 12 or staying and taking this set as fast as possible? No, you never want to go as fast as possible. You got to slow it down, man. What is this fast as possible nonsense? That's a weird understanding of how to move this. You want to forwards merge, backwards merge. You want to show the sets that you're in. If there's sets, okay, you got into the first 3 sets. There's sets that are girls that you would get into, that you would want to align with. Then yeah, of course you're going to want to stay in the set. And you want to show them dynamics. So forwards merge, go open another set so you can show them that, you're dynamic. That way, if it does happen for you where you guys align and a week later, you guys go out, you can still open some sets and be interactive without being the guy that, oh, is he hitting on girls because you never showed her that night 1. If you don't show her that you're dynamic and that you're the guy that talks to everybody, then you're not going to be able to do that a week, a month, 6 months later into your relationship with her. So if it works out. So yeah, make sure that you're playing group dynamics and that you're working the room and that you're also opening the staff if the sets are there. You're moving her to locations so that you can talk to other people. You have to show that you're a socially dynamic person. Otherwise, you're just the guy that was at the club, talked to her all night. And if you're the guy that did that, then of course you haven't been with 10 girls like her. Because the guy that has would just be appreciative that she's in his life. And now he's going to carry on doing his thing. And that's being a social person. How do you get past angry, stoic, silent, unresponsive AMOG types? Well, you need AMOG material. You need sound bites to win people over or to blow them out of set. So yeah, you got to get that content downloaded. that material and that structure to how to move within that, download it into your brain, for sure. When is the membership program coming out? First quarter. So within the next 2 months, I'm hoping. I have it all wrapped up together. I just have to make sure that everything is cohesive and that it looks awesome so that when it comes out, you know, I'm taking only a selective amount of guys for it on the first round because I don't want to open it up to everybody. That's not my style. I don't open things up for just people that want to throw money at the problem. I open it up for a certain amount, and then out of those, we're going to pick the best guys, the ones that I can see, I can track through the system that I have, who's been engaging and doing the material and the homework every week. And then those are the guys that when they show up to a live or when they send me comments or questions, I'm going to answer and prioritize because those are the guys that are going out doing the work. So yeah, it's coming within a couple of months for sure. Let's see here. Oh, there's a lot of questions here. Yes, I have some. Okay, so this guy asks, hey, Colgate, got to notice that when I go out, a lot of people ask for a lighter. Would you have a soundbite when things like that happens? Yes, of course I would have a soundbite for when things like that happens. That's the purpose of a soundbite. When situations arise that are commonly going to happen, you have something to say that adds value or that adds personality. So yes, of course I would. Am I going to tell you what my lighter soundbite is? No. But once you send me yours, one that you can think of, I'll tell you whether it's good or not. And then I'll tell you the understanding behind it of why certain sound bites work better. And then once you understand that, come back with me with another one. And then if you can't get it then, I'll send you mine and explain it to you why mine works. So let's agree to do that. I smile almost always in the club or venue because I feel like, is that okay? Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one who smiles in the room. That is totally okay, man. That is totally okay. Yeah, I feel the same. Everybody else is miserable. So yeah, keep smiling. Absolutely. All right, let's do one from here. David Quedza says, where I can learn more about your game, bro, step by step. Well, bro, you can check the website out and then sign up for a boot camp, bro. That's the way you do it, you know? Or keep reading the stuff on here. I try to give a lot of value on here, but understand that your ability to comprehend what I'm writing down here is from the place you're operating now, which is not the place you want to be. So you can be internalizing what I'm saying all sorts of ways. And that's likewise to everybody else on here. You could be internalizing it all sorts of ways. And maybe it's not working because, oh, you're not doing it correct. And that's what a boot camp's for. That's what a Skype session allows us to narrow down and see what the sticky points are. So yeah, if you want to know the step by step, well then yeah, you got to get in contact and start dealing with me direct. Cooper Harris says, hi Colgate, really love your posts, much appreciated. Anthony says, love your way, much appreciated. Bob says, what to do if you meet many women that can be your soulmates, but you want to be a PUA? Well, first of all, brother, if you're meeting tons of girls that you want to make your soulmate or that are your soulmate, then your quality level needs to be risen because most girls shouldn't be doing that, right? If you're opening girls that are out of your league, right, then you're going to meet a lot of different girls and you're going to get a sense of, oh, okay, I'm working for these skills. If you're just opening sets and falling in love with every girl that's in the sets, then you're doing it wrong. You're falling in love with the girls, not the phases. So yeah, you need to be aware that you need to maybe go up the ladder in your standards so that, not every girl is, being a girl will satisfy you as far as, you wanting to align. She needs to have qualities. You have to get to know her. You have to see who she is behind the person that's being presented right here, just like you're trying to show her. So yeah, man, I would definitely start looking at that. That's not the way you should be approaching it. Francisco says, how to deal with a bunch of interruptions in the group that you're working. Well, you need to be prepared. You need to have material prepared for interrupts, right? You have to see the friend coming in and then have something to say when she does. And then the structure to be able to get yourself through the hassle of if, let's say, the friends show up, right? Now, if you're going to a set and just talking to the target and alienating the friends, then you should, kick yourself in the ass, because at the end of the day, you're alienating the friends. So of course they're going to interrupt to find out if she's okay. You're some weird guy coming up to her with weird body language, and you obviously are weird because you didn't talk to the friends. A social guy would, right? So you have to not convey that you're creepy or weird or miscalibrated socially by talking to everyone. And if that's the case, then you shouldn't have any interruptions, because you should be able to engage everybody. And if they do interrupt, material to deal with it. Big Rob, tips for going out alone. I've answered this question before. You have to have a soundbite for that. You need to say something like, oh, my friends have what you guys call 9 to 5s, but I don't live in that reality. So they went home, I'm here for one more drink, and then I'm off to the next venue. And then you just deal with it that way. And then also go out, open the first set to the left. Now you have a group of friends that you can go back to. You can say you again at any point in the night. You can forwards merge and say, hey guys, look who I found. And it'll be all good as long as you ran the set correctly. And then if that set doesn't go well, then move on to the next set. Try to get a set that works well. And also talk to the staff, right? Because you're going to be going back to the venue. So that way when you go back, you have somebody that recognizes you and they're reacting, hopefully, positively and more to you. Let's see here. How do you get over a harsh breakup? I have an article on ASKCOLGATE.com/blog. So check that out. It's exactly the answer to that question. MLH says, okay, I don't have a question, but I must say I love this part, man. Keep it up. We all love you. Appreciate it. Day game or night game? Which do I like? I like both, man. I don't discriminate. I'm not that guy. I like both. I like whatever the set is, wherever the girls that are socially savvy and that are beautiful, where they're at. The sun doesn't make a difference to me. The moon doesn't make a difference to me. I play wherever it needs to be played. This guy asked, Brad Pitt or Angelina, one night, who would you pick? That's a great question. What are some of the best places to practice game in LA? Rich asks, that you can actually get in. Well, I would say that you should DM me that. And we'll talk about what kind of work you've done, and maybe I'll reveal my list, because the last thing I'm going to do is just reveal a list. And then when the next time I'm in LA trying to run a boot camp, there's a flock of guys that know I go to those venues. So they're just going to show up hoping that I'm there. So yeah, DM me, show me some work, and then we'll talk about that. Let's see here. In day game, is direct opener a good choice? Same question as if direct opening is good in night game, day game. I've answered that during this one. Mr. Biscuit says, not a question, but I genuinely want to thank you. You are one of the most useful accounts here on Instagram. Much appreciated. This guy asked, what's your response to why you wear a hat? Well, my response is because it helps me contain my thoughts. I don't want my thoughts just moping around and just traveling everywhere aimlessly. So the hat keeps them all together. How do you Kino escalate and move through the phases? Oh, that's what you learn on a boot camp, brother. Can't do that here. Non-pickup question. What's your favorite strand of weed? Favorite strand of weed would have to be Jack Hara. That's my top one. Do you find higher status chicks are actually more down to earth and less judgmental than the middle level because they don't have the front or ego? Higher status chicks are just more socially savvy. They're accustomed. They get it. They're hip. They can teach you things. So yeah, I've learned that I dabble and do better with those types of girls than the average girls. It doesn't seem to, hit as hard. The material is designed to get you beautiful women, not average women. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna go. I gotta start getting myself mentally ready for a flight, decompression time. So yeah, hopefully this has been helpful. If so, let me know. Tune in next time. Send me questions. Always willing to help you guys out as long as you're doing some work. I got a ton of boot camps, so for all the questions that were sent about boot camps and specifics and cities and stuff like that, that I am doing this year, you guys can check out the website. Just book there. I don't like to do this. We're gonna talk for ages on Instagram before you take action. The guys that I work with, they know how to do it. They're ready for that next level. So if you guys are interested in boot camps or things like that, you know where to go. I don't need to plug that stuff. Be mindful that the least engaged post right now is the inner game one, which is the most difficult for most guys. But it's the one that if you do it and you do interact with it, it's going to give you the most bang for your buck, because it does start to settle the inner game issues that you're going to have, or that you do have, or that will arise before they do, so that you can be a well-balanced guy while you go through and start engaging with people and building social skills, right? We want to be very balanced at the end of it, and most guys aren't at the end of this. So make sure that you're interacting with those. All the other ones, you guys are doing awesome, so much appreciated for that. Keep checking out the stories, keep going out, keep doing your thing, and as always here to help. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you guys very soon.